Alright, so today's pair, obviously an old pair. Looking at the box, it is the Air Ultra Force High White Pro Purple. And you can see an old, I love it when these old price tags stay on here. And they were listed at $77 and then down on sale $64.95. I'm not sure what this is. This might be Kmart. Not sure. There's a K there, but the box is pretty damn clean. Oh, and there's some more stickers up here that have been torn off. But yeah, one thing that's unique about this box compared to other boxes I've had is you can see the metallic sheen to the sticker here. So the rest of the box has a matte and this has a metallic sheen to it. I'm not sure if that's picking it up, but it's pretty cool. The box is super good condition, honestly. Yeah, I've never had boxes this clean. I'm not sure you can see it, but there's the most interesting part of it is that the top actually like poofs up a little bit, whereas all these other boxes I've gotten, it kind of, goes under a little bit. It's like other boxes have been sitting on it. This one has the full shape to it. I think these have just been, I heard they were just sitting in the back of a storage closet for many years after a store closed. So pull them out. Oh. So super fragile. I'm gonna pull these out slowly. Hopefully they don't break off. Okay, good. Yeah, these are, what's interesting about these shoes is that I could be wrong, but they're pretty much identical to the Air Force 5. They just don't call them the Air Force 5 because they're a smaller size. So these are obviously a size 8 from the box, but yeah, I noticed they call, it's like identical shoe, everything about it from the Air Force 5, except it's a smaller size. And with that, they call them the Air Ultra Force High. So that must just be the name that they gave to the smaller sizes, but it's, yeah, just the Air Force 5. The Nike tag is also different. The bigger Air Force 5s have the plastic big Nike tag, and then this one is just that thin one that you got. Actually, in the original, I think the original Air Jordan 4s came with this tag. I could be wrong on that too, but I think they came with this. I know the retros came with this tag. It's just that this one has been bent so long, it's super hard, but still hanging on. Yeah, the purple colorway in this is really nice. It looks pretty dark on camera. It's like a plum purple kind of. It is a dark purple, but definitely can still tell it's very purple and not like black. But I think on camera it looks pretty dark. But you can see on the force up here, it's bleeding a little bit, which is kind of cool. Not sure if it's picking that up. The force is definitely the purple. There's bleeding, but also interesting to note, I think it's interesting how these old shoes get stored and the differences that happen during the aging process. So, the polyurethane 30 years later, these came out in 1990, by the way, breaks down. Obviously you're gonna have cracking, cracking at best. A lot of times it's just crumbling by now. But yeah, you don't see any real yellowing. I mean, a little bit, but you don't see a lot of yellowing back there. In person, it's easier to see, but yeah, there's definitely some yellowing, but it's pretty white compared to a lot of my other Air Force 5s. But the most noticeable is this painted leather up here. I'm not sure if it's something different with the smaller size, but there's just no cracking at all. Whereas every other pair I have this is all just cracking really hard. Same up here, same down here too. So I think these must have been stored in a better climate, more temperate probably. I know humidity is really bad for them. My indoor here is pretty humid, and over the years, my Air Force 5s, I think with the fluctuation of humidity and if you have the heat on in the house in the wintertime, this turns really yellow, and then you even get drying out of the rubber here. It gets hard, but this one is pretty good. So I'm curious as where this was stored. But yeah, the classic Air Force 5 netting up here. This netting feels a little stiffer than my other pairs, so I'm not sure. Yeah, and then they're like the big felt, not felt, but just super, feels like almost like an armchair fabric on these old Nikes. Tongue still white as ever. And then the tongue, you got your, love that look with the netting back here. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, these are been kept in great condition. Just the perfect toe box on both of them. These smaller sizes, they would get really aerodynamic with the toe box. The bigger sizes are great too, but the toe box on these is just perfect. Like, it doesn't have any bulkiness to it. It's nice and low profile. And then the biggest part is that, when you look down, you can see how that wraps over it, and it gives it that, classic Nikes all have this. You never see this in the modern Nikes, where it's they've not only, nowadays they just connect it at the top. So see how this rolls over and they stitch it, and you see that with premium tailored shoes and stuff, designer shoes, it's rolled over and it's stitched. It's it's harder to do that. It costs more money. Nowadays it's funny how they've gradually gone further and further away from this. You'll see it a lot of times stitched at the corner, so it's a sharp, it's very sharp. And if they do any sort of rolling over, it's it's still got bulkiness to it, so it curls upward. You can see how sharp the toe is from that angle. It's got a nice little, comes out a little bit, and then it's stitched further back, so it keeps that rounded silhouette. And they sit flat too. Then when they've retroed these bigger Nikes, they put the little stubby toe box up front. This has so much much more length from where this lace is to the end of it. A lot more room for the toes, but a snugger fit everywhere else, so it's that performance fit. And the sole sits flat, so there's no curl upwards, which you get with a lot of them. And this is that aerodynamic shape is, I know a lot of OG collectors were all about that. It really it gives the shoe that kind of vibe to it, that look that is sleek, aerodynamic, classic Nike, which is cool. This is kind of a nice angle. You can see just all the dimensions of the shoe. You have so many layers. These were like a probably meant for the big man on the court or big woman. some plain post. So you didn't have, lightness was not the goal, more like, support, stability. So you have just so many layers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then some reinforcement here. So there's like 5 layers to that. Is this up front is probably the same layers back here, but then you have the second support here, and then third, even further back from that, fourth, and then even the fifth is the heel cup area, which is, a lot of layers. And it's cool to see these on like a small shoe. It's almost like a miniature. Just so much design. I mean, these definitely won't be holding up forever, unfortunately, but for now they're good. And I normally don't buy shoes like this small, but I actually recently found these for $40 shipped. So I was like, I gotta get these, and the seller was super nice. And I asked if they could bubble wrap each shoe individually in the box when they shipped it, and he did it. And it was just, they didn't come, this is how they were in the pictures, all cracked up, and so they actually didn't come falling apart, which was super grateful for that seller. Super nice to do that, to go out of the way and do that extra mile, especially for 40 shipped. They're not making a ton of money on these. It's interesting, some colors. I'm not sure if that paint was like that originally or if that's happened in time, but you can see like a teal and like a red, paint kind of coming out. Same on this side. I think that happened probably with age, something with the paint. I can't imagine that was there in the beginning. But yeah, again, the leather is just crazy nice. And the toe box is formed, it's shaped, form fitted, so it, it's not like just collapsing in. It keeps that, it's gonna keep that shape, but that toe box is like perfection. So all these old classic Nikes used to be, even the Jordans and stuff, they had that same kind of like downward point to them. But yeah, this is pretty much the Air Ultra Force High, aka the Air Force 5 in a small size. Yeah, these must have just been stored right, because even here is not even sticky. So this must be what my other tongues looked like before they started drying out and cracking, which is kind of interesting to see that there's still pairs like this. Looks like somebody put their finger in this right here, probably accidentally, and just like smushed it in. But yeah, the guy probably saw these and was like, oh man, these things are falling apart. 40 shipped. Little does he know, people still want them for whatever reason. Hopefully if these ever retro, which I'm sure they will eventually, they haven't yet, I'm gonna definitely do like a soul swap on these. And maybe a girl I know who wears I guess that would be a 9.5, but yeah, I don't know, wish they were my size. I'd totally rock them. Purple, classic purple Nikes. So yeah, the color is white, purple, and then you have accents of gray. The rubber midsole here is white, or it's supposed to be white, and then you have more gray up here, and then back here, and then on the sole, gray, purple, white, gray, and gray. Probably hard to tell, but all right, well, if you guys like the classic shoes, I got more videos coming soon. I'm just gonna post all my shoes on YouTube before I'm leaving the country for a while, in a few months, and I figured I'd just do all these shoe videos now. So stay tuned. Got more kicks coming soon, and I hope you guys have a nice day.